So, this vlog is actually going to be more about a serious subject that I personally would like to discuss. Now, this is a picture of me a little over a year ago. At this point in my life, I was relatively 180 pounds, which is a weight that is too big for my personal body type. In fact, it was so big that it shifted one of my ribs forward, which skewed my whole rib cage. Simple tasks like climbing a rope ladder in gym were practically impossible. At one point after a doctor's appointment, I decided that this weight was just too big for me and went on a diet for about 10 months and lost relatively 30 pounds, bringing me to a weight of about 148 pounds. Now, for me, this is great. It's perfect for my body type, and things like climbing a rope ladder, I can do in like 30 seconds. But I'd like to make two big points. Number one, that girl in the photo isn't miserable and sad. When I was 180 pounds, that didn't curse me to a life of misery. I could still be happy and dance. I still had amazing friends who loved me and whom I loved. I still had a bright future ahead of me. And I could still enjoy small things in life, like listening to a good song that just touches your heart. Point number two, I want to point out the fact that throughout the video, I kept saying it was my body type that needed the weight loss. Because for me, personally, and the way my body is shaped, 180 pounds was too big. For me, 148 pounds is perfect. For someone else, it might be too big. For someone else, it might actually be too small. 180 could be perfect for them. But I think we get stuck on this idea that we're all supposed to be skinny. There's always a look we feel we have to match. I too struggle with this idea of body image. In fact, part of the reason that I got to the weight I was because in junior high, I was bulimic, meaning that I binged and I ate a lot, and then I purged, throwing it up, feeling that this would be what made me skinny. And my mom eventually found out, and I went to therapy for it. And the therapy did manage to get rid of the purging, but not the habit of binging. So I gained about 50 pounds. And I decided that if I was going to lose weight, I was going to do it in a healthy way and do it in a way that fit me and my body. And that's where I am now. And I also want to say, being that large, I know the stigmas attached to being fat. I know that slight hesitation a waiter gives when you're at a restaurant and you want to order an especially big hamburger because it's what you're craving at the time. I know that feeling you get when you try to put on a shirt that's a size too small, but you feel you should still be fitting into it because you're not supposed to be big, you're supposed to be of a good size. There are a lot of really negative stigmas that are attached to being fat. If you're fat, people tend to assume that you're lazy, that you're incompetent, that you're overly defensive, that you're too proud, and that you lack self-control. Because that's what being fat is. It means you just can't control yourself, but that's not true. And you have to tell yourself that. You have to tell yourself that just because you're someone who has a different body than someone else, that doesn't make you a failure. It just means you're who you are, and be proud of that. It's hard, I know, I struggle with it too, but once you learn that weight isn't what defines you, it really helps, and the world becomes a lot better. I'd like to make one quick little note. If you at any point are planning to go on a diet, before you do, ask yourself, are you doing this because you legitimately feel that for your body type, you are too big, or do you just want to lose weight so you can be skinny and beautiful? If it's the first reason, great, you know, I went through the same thing. Just make sure when you're in the process of doing it to look up health tips and maybe even talk to a doctor about what's right for you. But on the other hand, if you want to do it because you feel that you are not beautiful, stop. Because you are beautiful. You are so damn beautiful for who you are. Everyone is beautiful in their own way. I know that is so cliche to say, but when you really think about it, it's so true. You can still be happy. You can still be healthy. You can still find love. You can still have amazing friends. You can still build a successful career, travel the world, have a nice night at a fancy restaurant, and you can still be confident. Don't put yourself down. You are still an amazing human being who will lead an amazing life. Others do not define you and who you are and what makes you beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. You know, I really hope that this video can kind of get you thinking a bit and change your perspective a little, or maybe help you if you're also going through a rough patch. And I guess what I'd like to end on is saying that if I can get through something like that, you can too. And you can still realize that you are a beautiful human being. And like I said, you can still lead a great life.